Beneath Cuba's vibrant culture and stunning beaches lies a hidden struggle. Strict government controls limit freedom, and daily life is shaped by shortages of basic goods, from food to medicine. Despite these hardships, Cubans show remarkable resilience, finding joy in music, art, and community, even amid challenging realities. Let's uncover the life in Cuba which you've never seen before. Cuba, a Caribbean island nation, is known for its diverse cultural heritage, colonial architecture, and influential role in global politics. Located just 90 miles south of Florida, Cuba has a population of over 11 million, with Havana as its lively capital. Cuba has faced persistent shortages of essential goods in recent years, exacerbating daily challenges for its citizens. Limited access to basic items like food, medicine, and hygiene products has strained households and led to long queues in state-run stores. The daily impact is considerable. Food insecurity is prevalent, with staples such as rice, beans, and chicken often hard to find. When available, these items are usually rationed, and residents frequently stand in line for hours, sometimes only to leave empty-handed. Access to fresh produce and other essential groceries is inconsistent, and inflated prices in informal markets make these items unaffordable for many. Additionally, the shortage of medicine and medical supplies poses serious health risks, limiting treatment options and exacerbating public health issues. For many, day-to-day life has become a cycle of waiting, rationing, and adjusting to fewer resources. The situation has driven frustration and discontent, leading to demonstrations and calls for economic reform. Do you have so much of patience to wait in a long line just to buy daily essentials? What are your thoughts on it? Let us know in the comments below. Number 1. Shortages in markets and daily life impact. In Cuba, people often sell items they receive as gifts on the streets. This happens because many essential goods are scarce or expensive, while wages remain low. Items like clothing, toiletries, or even electronics, especially if received from family abroad, can fetch a good price. Selling these items helps Cubans afford basic needs, food, or other daily essentials. The economy is tightly controlled, and choices are limited, so people turn to street selling to make extra income. It's a creative way to survive in a tough system where nearly everything has value because nearly everything can be hard to find. Number 2. Challenges faced by Cuban women. In Cuba, women keep up their beauty with creativity and resilience despite limited access to beauty products. They often rely on natural remedies, using ingredients like sugar, honey, and coconut oil to make scrubs, masks, and moisturizers. Family members abroad may send makeup and skincare items, and some women buy or trade beauty products on the black market when supplies are scarce. Street vendors sell essentials like lipstick and perfume, though prices are high. Cuban women mix tradition, DIY hacks, and resourcefulness, creating beauty routines that reflect their culture's love for style and self-care, even under tough conditions. Number 3. Children foods in school. In Cuban schools, children often receive basic, limited meals due to food shortages and budget constraints. Typical meals might include rice, beans, a small portion of meat or fish, and occasionally fruit. The meals are simple and lack variety, leaving many children still hungry. To help, parents often try to send extra food from home, like bread or snacks, when they can afford it. Some even trade with neighbors or find items on the black market. Despite these challenges, families do their best to provide for their children, showing incredible resourcefulness and care in the face of scarcity. Number 4. Prices of basic foods and necessities. Basic food prices in Cuba remain high and volatile due to inflation, limited imports, and the ongoing economic crisis. Prices for essential items have surged, with chicken costing around 680 Cuban pesos per kilogram, roughly 6 to 7 USD on the informal market, powdered milk at 1,675 pesos per kilogram, and cooking oil at 990 pesos per liter. Bread and other staples, typically provided through a ration system, are frequently unavailable, often due to fuel shortages and logistical issues, prompting many to turn to more expensive black market options. Economic strain has affected both availability and accessibility of goods, as Cuba produces only 20% of its food. The government has introduced a temporary price cap on essentials like pasta and sausages, aiming to stabilize costs. Additionally, the authorities are shifting subsidies toward vulnerable individuals rather than subsidizing products universally, a shift intended to alleviate financial stress on the state but still contentious among residents. Number 5. Food and water safety. Food and water safety can be challenging. Tap water isn't always safe to drink, so locals often boil it or rely on bottled water when they can. Food quality also varies. While home-cooked meals are usually fine, street food and some restaurants may lack proper hygiene due to shortages of cleaning supplies and refrigeration. Fresh fruits and vegetables are often safe but should be washed thoroughly. Many Cubans have developed strong immune systems over time, but visitors need to be cautious. Despite limited resources, locals use their creativity to make food as safe and enjoyable as possible. Number 6. Transportation challenges and internal migration. In Cuba, transportation is a daily struggle. Public buses are often overcrowded and unreliable, with long waits. Fuel shortages make it hard for people to get around, and cars are expensive, so many rely on shared taxis, hitchhiking, or old bikes. These challenges impact internal migration too. People moving from rural areas to cities for work or better living conditions often face difficulties because it's tough to travel back and forth or send money home. Despite these hurdles, Cubans adapt with patience and resourcefulness, showing resilience in finding ways to stay connected and move forward, even with limited options. Number 7. Social issues, gossip, and relationship. In Cuba, relationships and social life are lively and often the talk of the town. Gossip spreads quickly in close-knit neighborhoods where everyone knows each other's business. Romance and friendships are woven into everyday life, often filled with passion and drama. Relationships can be tested by the pressures of economic struggles, with couples finding creative ways to support each other. Infidelity and jealousy are common topics, adding to the intrigue. Despite challenges, Cubans value loyalty and deep bonds, finding strength in community and humor, sharing laughs and stories that bring color to their lives amidst the daily grind. Number 8. Dependence on tourism and foreign influence. Cuba leans heavily on tourism, as visitors bring in vital money that fuels the economy. With limited industry options and a struggling local market, Cubans rely on foreign visitors for income through hotels, restaurants, and street businesses. This dependence creates both excitement and challenges, as locals adapt to cater to tourists while still facing shortages and restrictions. Foreign influence also shapes Cuban culture, with travelers bringing new ideas and products. While tourism helps families financially, it sometimes highlights the gap between visitors' privileges and locals' realities, creating a blend of admiration, need, and complexity in Cuba's social fabric. Number 9. Currency and money exchange. Cuba has a unique and complex currency system that has undergone significant changes in recent years. Until 2021, the country operated with two main currencies, the Cuban peso, CUP, and the convertible peso, CUC. The cup was primarily used for everyday transactions, while the CUC, pegged to the US dollar, was often used by tourists and for imports. However, in January 2021, the Cuban government eliminated the CUC as part of an effort to simplify the monetary system and unify the exchange rates. Foreign currency can be exchanged at banks, official exchange houses, CADECA, or certain hotels. However, it's recommended to avoid street vendors offering currency exchange, as these transactions can be risky. Credit cards are increasingly accepted, especially those linked to international networks like Visa and MasterCard, though many cards issued by US banks may not work in Cuba. Number 10. Persistent garbage problem in Havana. Cuba faces significant challenges with waste management, particularly in its capital, Havana, where a persistent garbage problem has garnered attention. The issue is exacerbated by a combination of factors, including economic constraints, inadequate infrastructure, and the impacts of natural disasters. Havana generates approximately 1,500 tons of waste daily, yet only about 70% is collected and disposed of properly. The remaining waste often accumulates in streets, parks, and vacant lots, leading to unsanitary conditions and contributing to public health concerns. The accumulation of trash attracts pests and can foster the spread of diseases, posing a significant risk to the population's health. Natural disasters, such as hurricanes, further exacerbate the garbage problem. After severe weather events, debris accumulates, overwhelming already strained municipal services. Additionally, the impact of climate change has increased the frequency and intensity of these disasters, creating a cyclical challenge for the city.